Curtis Calhoun here with MMA News, and my next guest is another big fight coming up on Dana White's Contender series. It's Chandler Cole. How's it going, Chandler?
I'm doing good. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks again for the time. Obviously, it's a very exciting time for you. Lots going on. You got this Contender series fight coming up, and a chance to get in the UFC. Talk to me a little bit about that. First thoughts, how camp has been, and how pumped are you to get back in there?
Oh, this camp's been amazing. This is it'll be the first, I would say, world class level fight that I've had where I've actually got a training camp. It's not a last minute call. It's not any of that stuff. So I took it very serious. I got exactly the help that I needed. I got exactly what I need. I done exactly what I needed to do. So I'm in a good position now. So I'm feeling good.
For those that are watching this interview and are wondering, what big differences are between, taking a short notice fight versus having a full camp, how big of a difference do you feel like that is for you?
Oh God, my cardio, bro. That's for one, dude. It's just different, man. When you got a name on a contract, it's easy to hit that treadmill. It's easy to push yourself. There's a lot. People are like, "Oh, you should be training like that full time." They're idiots. They are idiots. No, it's not. It's not the same. And you get a little extra up when you know who you're fighting. Because here's the difference: is like I was fighting on the regional scene, and a lot of these fights that I had got, or I took some fights, but then people back out, and then people decline me because it's like you never know who you're fighting. So until the week of the fight, I'm not even motivated. I'm just training off of discipline. I ain't motivated to fight these guys because they'll back out at any time. So this was like the first time I had some fear in my heart. It was like, ooh, this is a good one, and that was good to train my whole camp like that. My whole camp was like, this dude's good. Work your ass off. This good dude, work your ass off. So it does play a big role when you have a name on a contract. So those last minute fights, man, you don't really get to do a full training camp as far as like game planning. Your cardio is probably not going to be as good. There's a lot of factors that play into it. So for me to finally have a big fight, have a full training camp, got to game plan, got to work with a nutritionist, got to do all these things. It's like, okay, this is what I've wanted the whole time. This is everything I've ever wanted. So super excited, man. Super excited to showcase exactly what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. And August 29th, y'all going to see. Y'all going to see. I'm excited.
Do you do any film study at all? Because I know some fighters prefer to let their coaches do that and kind of just focus on themselves. What's kind of your approach to that?
I've never watched anyone's film until this one. I just wanted to, we watched a lot of the stuff that he does and just some of his bad tendencies, and just honestly just to see what we were going to expect at this level. And I've never in my life watched film, but I told myself this time, you want to be professional, you want to be world class. They do this on world class levels. They game plan, they go out there, they execute it. So I took it a little more serious. I've watched a lot. My coaches have watched a lot. And every practice, it's not like them telling me what to do. Like we consult, hey, I feel comfortable doing this. I don't feel comfortable doing this. If this happens, what do I do? If this happens, what do I do? And we've literally just went off that. So like I said, man, everything's went perfect. No injuries, nothing. Like this has been perfect.
I remember the last time we talked last year, I think it was right after the Ultimate Fighter, I want to say. And we talked a lot about, the improvements that you made since the Ultimate Fighter and moving forward in your career and all that. One big thing that you mentioned was your takedown defense, that you really take pride in improving that aspect of your game. Obviously, with a guy like Thomas Peterson, who comes from that collegiate wrestling background, this is a really big opportunity to showcase that. Do you feel that same way? Do you feel like, this is a really good opportunity for you to really prove that you've improved that aspect of your game?
Oh yeah. Well, and my takedown defense has always been one of my best attributes. I've just never had to use it. Mm-hmm. But I take great pride. I coach high school wrestling. So one of the things that I really, really, really work on is how to defend takedowns, how to literally, and MMA wrestling is completely different than wrestling, but I do a great job anywhere I go. Anywhere I go, I do a really good job of not getting taken down. And I take really, really great pride in that. And I'm excited to finally fight a wrestler because I'm really hoping he shoots on me. I really do. I want to, he has all these accolades. Like, I may stick my leg out there and let him shoot just so I can show people how good I am at it. So we'll see. I know he does a lot of unorthodox MMA takedowns, like more of like a wrestling style, but it's very awkward. But I've trained for it. I'm excited to showcase exactly how I'm going to defend it. And I think my cardio is going to play a huge factor in this fight. I think that I'm very durable. He's durable. I think he's tough. I'm tough. And I think at the end of the night, like, this might be fight of for the Contender Series, fight of the season. It has all the potential to be fight of the season. You got two tough heavyweights that just throw. And as long as he stays off my legs, I think it can be exciting. But if he shoots and I defend and we stalemate the whole time, I think neither one of us are walking away with the contract. So he needs to keep that in mind. But I am excited to showcase my takedown defense. I really think that's something that nobody's got to see, and I'm excited to showcase it.
From watching your fights and your career, I did some film study this morning. One thing that's really stood out about you is that you waste no time in terms of the fight itself. Like, you like to get after it right away, and get in the pocket and swing. Do you feel like with the format of Contender Series, with, the fact that you're not only looking to win, but you're also looking for a potential finish and that highlight, do you feel like that works to your advantage in a lot of ways?
Yeah, in a way, but I think that's also, I'm a little crazy, and I don't like the whole filling out process. That makes no sense to me. Like, you already know who you're fighting and all that stuff, and it's like when y'all go out there and you walk around the cage for 2 minutes, like, that's not what people pay to see. People pay to fight, and you have so many seconds to make something happen. Why not go straight out and get to work? You know what you're going to do. You've already trained all this stuff. Like, you know what he's going to do. So why fill it out? I promise you this. We will not have a fill out. We will not be filling each other out for 2 minutes. We'll be straight to business. But he fights the same way. So I like that. So it's going to be fun.
Do you feel that your experience on The Ultimate Fighter and competing in the Apex and under the bright lights and all the cameras and all that, having that experience already gives you somewhat of a mental advantage in this one, just, preparing for, that kind of environment and everything that comes with it?
Yes, but no. I think that Thomas has competed at some high levels in wrestling. That's really why I think Bo Nickel does so good. Mm-hmm. Bo Nickel wrestled in 3 national championships, many world championship, matches and tournaments and stuff. So I think as far as like the bright lights go, I don't think he thinks about that. I think he's just like a good old country boy who just is there to fight. And but the Vegas heat is a little different. In the Vegas, the dryness in Vegas is different. So that's one thing that I told my coaches. I was like, yeah, that's gonna be different. If he's never left Vegas, if he's never left Minnesota, like, it's a little different. And I'm excited. I'm just excited about the whole process, man. I've made sure that if he comes in this fight and he's in great shape, he's strong, he's been doing everything he's supposed to do, that's great, because so have I. So I trained as if I was fighting John Jones. Like, I trained as if I was fighting a world champion, and not an LFA world champion, because LFA ain't shit, but like a world champion. So I'm prepared, and I'm excited. I'm excited about the whole thing.
One thing that's really stood out about you too is that, you're always a guy that seems so passionate about what he does in fighting and outside of fighting and all that. You always look like you're having a great time. Like, how important is that for you to enjoy the process of getting better in fighting and really embracing everything that comes with it?
One thing that helps me is where I'm from. We don't have any fighters here. Like, we don't have any fighters that are on my level. We have a young wave of people who are interested, and I think I'm going to be the reason. I'm going to be the reason why I put my little area on the map. And if you think I'm good, wait till you see these kids that are coming up. Like, they're just getting better. And that really what makes me so passionate about it, because I'm a high school wrestling coach too. Mm-hmm. And they watch me work, and it's hard for them to tell me no when they see me working. It's hard to look at someone when you have that wrestling coach that, he graduated in 1996 and he's overweight, and, he may have been a state champ, but he does nothing but wobble everywhere he goes. That guy's hard to listen to. But when you got that guy who literally will go run those miles, lift those weights, practice every day, it's like he's easy to listen to. He's easy to talk to. So for me, it's like I'm very passionate about leading the way. I always tell people I'm the general. Like in the gym, like I'm the gym general. And I carry that everywhere I go, whether it's on the wrestling mat when I'm coaching, in here training. People see me outside. I hold myself to a certain standard, carry myself a certain way. I don't drink, I don't party, I don't do none of that stuff. So that's where my passion comes from. Is just leading the way. Like when you're the general, you move and talk and act a certain way, and I feel like I do a really great job of that. So that's where my passion comes from, man. Just anything I do, I want to be the best at it, and that's what drives me.
I saw a recent interview you did with my colleague and friend James Lynch, and you guys talked about a conversation that you had with Todd Duffee recently, and he was kind of giving you advice ahead of Contender series and really inspiring you. Kind of talk to us a little bit about that conversation and what you kind of drew from it, and mentally and emotionally. Like, how much did that mean to you?
So Todd actually messaged me first a while back, and we were talking about some things, and it just blew my mind because, like, this is a guy that, like, of course, like, you see him in the movies, you see him fighting the UFC. Like, I think he has the fastest heavyweight knockout, or, like, and like all those things, dude. And like to me, it's like it blows my mind because it's like, dude, why is he talking to me? Like, he's so much farther ahead of me, but it's like he knows who I am. On multiple occasions, he's told me how good I am and how tough I am and how just keep going. And yeah, I basically was talking about coming to California. I was talking about going down to Florida. I was talking about all these things. I wanted to travel, train. And he just said, bro, I think right now for you, I would stay local. I would stay with your coaches. And he was like, and because you're going to get lost. If you go to these big gyms, they're getting ready for world championship fights. They're getting ready for all these other fights. Like, you're going to get lost in that little process, like, because there's so many of them. He was like, bro, stay where you're going to get focused on. Stay where, you're going to get work in, and just go in confident, bro. You got all the tools to win this fight. Just be confident. And when he told me that, bro, I was like, yo, this dude's made a long career being dominant. He's a dominant heavyweight. So I was like, when he told me that, bro, it gave me all the confidence in the world. And another person that I talk to all the time that it's not really public, but Jorgen De Castro talks to me.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of conversations, dude. And he told me the other night, he sent me a message and he was like, I think you're UFC ready. He was like, you are, man. And he's like, I'm excited for you. And like, just to hear these guys that, like, I look at them like, hey, like, they've been there and they've done that, like, to have faith in me, man, gives me all the confidence in the world. And that's really what it is. Max Holloway even said, from 10 to 15, 6 to 10, and from 1 to 5, and then the champion, the only thing that separates all of them is mindset. So I think that's really what's carried me as far as I am now, is my mindset. And I think that's what's going to carry me into the UFC and then becoming a contender one day. I've put a lot of time in. I've sacrificed a lot, and I think that's what it takes to do great things. Is like when you sacrifice, you get great rewards. It's how it's been even since the biblical days. And I feel like I've sacrificed so much. I've sacrificed relationships, friends. I've sacrificed the partying, the clout. I've sacrificed all that stuff in order to make this dream come true. And even time, dude, I've even sacrificed time with my daughter, and that's the most important person in my life. And it's like, when you sacrifice all these things that meant so much to you, you have a different purpose for it. You have a different meaning. My life isn't, I got a happy wife and kids and everything's great. I got to bust my ass for everything I have. I got to bust my ass to pay my bills, keep the lights on, a roof over my head. It's like, and then on the same time, make sure that training comes first. Training, I got to get all my practices in while doing everything else. I don't stop. All day long, I don't stop. So it's like, when you do all that, you come in there with a chip on your shoulder. It gives you all the confidence in the world, especially when you got all these higher level fighters that are complimenting you and telling you these things. So it's really helped me as far as, like, believing in myself and telling myself, like, you're next. All these great fighters have come and gone. And it just shows me I'm next. I'm next in line. Like, when it comes to the popularity and the stuff like that, and like the people realizing how good you are, I am next. I'm next. So that's how I prepare for this fight. That's how I walked through this training camp. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna deliver, and I'm gonna be in the UFC, and I'm gonna make a stamp, and then I'm gonna be in the UFC Hall of Fame. So that's my goal.
Absolutely, man. Looking forward to it. And last question for me. Obviously, Dana White's going to recognize you right away, I'm sure, when you walk out. I mean, from your experience on The Ultimate Fighter and all that. But what's your message to Dana White ahead of this fight specifically? Like, what kind of performance can you expect, and what kind of fight can you expect?
So they didn't put this on the show, but Amanda jumped on to me because I'm just like I'm always a flashy fighter. That's just how I am. Like it just drives me. I think you shouldn't mess with someone's feng shui. Everybody does this whole martial arts respect bullshit. No, that's not true. Like whatever drives you and fuels you and makes you do better, that's what you do. So like I was out there and like when he would punch and stuff and I'd move and I'd miss me, Jordan, or like he kicked me and I checked it and I said, ooh, I knew that one hurt. Like that's just part of the game. And in between the first and second round, I walked up to the cage and Dana, I was on the side that Dana and Forrest was sitting on. And I said, hey, Dana, I took my mouthpiece out. I was like, I'm about to be your best mother friend. And he looked at me, smiled, and was like shaking his head like, yes. It was after the kick. So that's kind of the same message I have for him. Dana, we about to be boys. I ain't no going through Hunter and them. He's gonna be calling me. He's gonna be like, hey, Chandler, how you doing, man? No, I'm doing good, buddy. I still plan on doing great things. So the message hasn't changed. Even say I win this fight and he don't give me a contract, I'm still getting the UFC. Some way, somehow, I'm getting in the UFC. One thing that a lot of people don't know is I got offered to be in the PFL this year. And before the Dana White Contender Series or anything, before I even got the call, I was on the regional scene. I said no. I said no, I'm good. And when I was asked why, I said because I don't want to be locked down in contract when that's not the overall dream. My overall goal is to be in the UFC. So if that's where I want to be and that's the platform that I want to fight for and that's the lifestyle I want to give myself, then why would I sign with another promotion that isn't a part of the dream? I fought for PFL. So it's like that's on my resume. Nobody around here in my area, especially, or the guidance that I try to give these kids, it's like nobody goes, "Oh, he's a PFL fighter." They're like, "Oh, he's he fight, he's professional." But when you call yourself a UFC fighter, it's a different playing to it, different touch to it. So I told them they can keep it. I don't want it. I appreciate the offer. Thank you, but I want to be in the UFC. I don't want to be anywhere else. Don't want to be in Bellator. Don't want to do all that. I want to be in the UFC. People talk about, oh, well, the pay here, the pay there. Okay, it ain't about the money. It ain't even about the money. It's about being with the most elite fighters in the world. And if someone says that's not the UFC, then they're delusional. So it's like I want to fight in the UFC. I want to be a contender. I want to be a title contender one day and say that at the end of my career, I want to say that I gave it all I had. I reached my full potential. And I did great things for the sport of MMA.
Absolutely, man. Well, before we wrap things up here, I'll give it the final word to shout out your social media if you want, your team, teammates, all that good stuff. I'll give it the final word.
Yeah, I want to thank my coaches, of course, Adam Mays, Nick Jackson. They've been with me since I was 18 years old, and it's not been an easy 10 years. Like they have a lot more gray hair than what they did when I started. And sometimes I'm stressful and I'm a diva, but hopefully I keep them smiling more than I keep them mad. So they've been a blessing and they really worked with me and never asked for anything in return. So I'm forever thankful for them. They'll be in my corner in a couple Tuesdays. And all my sponsors and everyone who's played a big role into making this dream come true. I appreciate you. Even the ones that I've had in the past that I don't really associate with no more. It's part of the journey, man. And I appreciate everyone who's ever been a part of this. And then last but not least, follow me at Chandler Cole MMA on all platforms. And you can check out my YouTube channel. I have a podcast on there called The Team Cole Show. And I think it's funny. I like it. We create jokes and talk about things that are very controversial that gets the world turning. So, you can follow me on all those. And August 29th is going to be a good night. Make sure y'all show up. So.
Absolutely, man. We're all pumped to see you fight again. It was great to chat with you again, and I have a feeling we'll definitely chat again soon in the future. All the best with these final few days of camp, and thank you so much for the time. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, buddy.